Y'all, spiritual whistleblower here with another video on narcissistic abuse. One thing that I'm noticing in my phone calls with my clients is they tend to apologize to me when they shouldn't apologize. Um, like I have to correct them when they're telling their stories. I'll give you an example. This one young lady that I was talking to, I was coaching. When referring to her narcissistic partner, her lover, she kept saying, "Oh my God, I was just so stupid. He was doing all these things. I didn't realize he was doing all these things. I'm just so stupid." And I had to stop her and correct her. I said, "No, you were not stupid. You were tricked by a demon. You're not stupid. You're a good person, and you were doing what you genuinely thought was right." Okay. And because you could not see, he's an actor. Narcissists are great actors. They're great liars. How are you supposed to know if he's putting on this performance and acting like a good person when he's really a demon? How does that make you stupid? So the next thing she did, she says, "You know what? You're right. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Then I had to correct her for that. I said, "Stop apologizing to me. Why are you saying sorry? You've done nothing wrong." And she said, "I know, I'm sorry." Again, so this is a behavioral pattern that I notice with a lot of survivors of narcissistic abuse is the constant explaining, over explaining yourself, apologizing for things that you shouldn't be apologizing for, just out of habit. And I want to explain to you all where that comes from. That's a childhood that's a problem that was created in childhood by your abusive mother and father. The over explaining, feeling guilty when you should not be feeling guilty, apologizing when you should not be apologizing. That's because mom and dad have made you the scapegoat. Okay. It's something that I used to do, and I had to break out of that. It was like, when you're a people pleaser, you'll find yourself tolerating shit you shouldn't be tolerating. You'll find yourself apologizing for shit you shouldn't be apologizing for. Like, when I look back at my people pleaser days, I am disgusted with myself. I'm like, I can't believe you put up with all that. I put up with a lot of shit, y'all. Family, lover, fake toxic friends. I put up with a lot of bullshit just to keep the peace. I allowed people to talk to me any kind of way. I allowed people to treat me any kind of way. I apologized for shit that I wasn't wrong for, just for the sake of keeping the peace, keeping the toxic friendship together when I should have let it go. The people pleasing days are over because, we are so broken when we are serving and putting people before God. Took me a long time to figure that out. Baby, you ain't supposed to be serving and breaking your back or breaking your neck for nobody but him. If you going to go hard for somebody, if you going to be people pleasing and doing cartwheels and all types of tricks and flipping and carrying on, you do it for him. That's it. But to put all that energy into people, no. And those of you that are former people pleasers like myself, I'm just trying to help you understand where that behavior comes from if you don't know. Mom and dad programmed you to fucking be a doormat. Mom and dad, your grandparents, whoever fucking raised you, the caregiver that raised you and instilled in you all these toxic traits. A lot of y'all think y'all are narcissists. I get that a lot during my client phone calls. They say, "Am I the narcissist?" I said, "No, honey. If you were a narcissist, I wouldn't be on this call. I don't talk to narcissists. Or if I detect that you are narcissistic, I'll end the call. I'll never. I've had calls where I would end the call and refund the money. I don't even want your money because this call is not going to work. This call, you're not going to sit here and manipulate me and play games with me. I clock that behavior immediately. So when people come to me and say, "I think I'm the narcissist. Am I the narcissist?" And I have to tell them, "Sweetie, no, you're not." But when you've been raised up around narcissists, you will pick up the behaviors. You will, in fact, pick up the toxic traits. From birth, you were programmed. You have the toxicity in you. Let's be real, all of us, including myself. You will grow up with them toxic traits that were instilled in you by mom and dad. It's not until you move out of their house. Let's say you go to college like me. I went to college and I got around all different types of people from all different walks of life, different cities and states. And I was around people that were not my family. Remember, when you grow up in that toxic, narcissistic family structure, you only know one way of things. It's the way mom and dad and your grandparents have taught you to see things. But there's a whole nother world out there. Go to college or move out your parents' house and get around some other people, and you'll see they will hold a mirror up. What happened when I went to college? I was getting checked left and right. All my, from my roommate to my new friends that I made and all that, people were checking me like, why are you doing that? And why are you saying this? And why things that I had never experienced or never seen, other people's mannerisms and different things. People were checking me, and I had to come to realize, A, mom and dad taught me the wrong way. B, mom and dad taught me a lot of toxic shit because I got people here in college checking me on my toxic shit and holding up a mirror to my bad behaviors. Child, when you get around other people that are not your biological relatives, your biological family, they're going to teach you a whole lot about life. And a lot of that is because mom and dad have sheltered you. You got to understand, when you grow up underneath a narcissistic mother or father, your parents, their job is to keep you codependent, keep you in this childlike position where they're constantly the dominant one talking down to you. So, ladies, I don't know about you, and I'm about to get real transparent. My mother did not teach me 100% how to be hygienic. I didn't always have the best hygiene when it came to, when my period came on, my body odors, taking showers on time. I felt like, my mother deliberately withheld information or didn't teach me. She taught me a little, but not enough. And that's because they needed a reason to bully me. If I didn't smell good, or I needed to shower, or I half-ass did things, half-ass brushed my teeth, it gave my mother the incentive to beat the fuck out of me. But if my hygiene is not great as a teenager, why beat me? Why not show me the right way without fucking bullying me and belittling me? And if I'm half-ass doing it, where did I learn it from? See, this is the delusion of a narcissistic parent. So you got to understand, your parents will cripple you so that you stay dependent on them. They want you financially dependent. They want you, they don't want you to have a life outside of them. They don't want you to have independence outside of them. They will actually cripple you. And if it gets real bad, like my mother, they'll kick you out in the streets when knowing you have nothing, you have no money or nothing. They want you to suffer in the streets so that you'll crawl and beg for them to take you back. And if you do that and they take you back, they will bully and increase the abuse tenfold. When my mother kicked me out at 17 years old, I went to a women's shelter and I stayed. She thought I would come crying and running back. I didn't. I stayed in the shelter. They helped me get on my feet. They helped me get my first apartment, a car, and a government job. I never went back. She was pissed because the plan was to cripple me and have me beg for her to take me back in. I didn't do that. So your narcissistic parents, they want to cripple you. And there's all this toxic programming and grooming. You're constantly under a microscope apologizing to mom and dad for shit you didn't do. You're constantly getting beat and bullied for breathing, for fucking existing. I mean, getting beat for ridiculous shit. And, like I told y'all, recently I was diagnosed with Asperger's. I am autistic. That shit blew my fucking mind because, like, looking back in childhood, yeah, I was a little bit slow. Yeah, my grades were not good. Yeah, my hygiene wasn't the best. I have all these things. I'm slow because I have a developmental disability. And I got beat up. I got beat, bullied, bloodied, molested, fucked through, ran through, dog walk, everything you could think of, mom especially. So it's like I just remember apologizing all the time. It was like walking on fucking eggshells to please my mother, to prevent her from going the fuck off. I don't know if she's bipolar. I don't know if it's borderline personality. She's definitely a narcissist, I feel. I believe she's a sociopath, but she may also have an underlying mental illness. She may be bipolar because I've never seen a woman, her eyes would bulge out of her head. She would yell and scream all the fucking time. We all walked on eggshells. My nerves, this is why I believe I have lipedema in my legs. My body stores cortisol. You know, there's trauma in my legs. And I have lipedema. She would bully me about my thighs. You fat bitch, look how big your thighs are. This is as a teenager. So, you know, she conditioned me to keep apologizing. Mommy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. I didn't mean to do that, mommy. I'm sorry. And, you know, the gaslighting is where we you know, if you find yourself as an adult constantly explaining yourself, over explaining yourself, and that's because, number one, somebody's gaslighting you. It may be your boss, your supervisor gaslighting you at the job. And you don't realize that your boss is a narcissist and they're mentally fucking with you. So you're over explaining yourself to your boss. It could be a toxic friend. You don't realize that this friend of yours is a covert narcissist. He or she may be gaslighting you and fucking with you. And there you go, over explaining yourself. And then when the friendship falls apart and you start thinking back, you're like, damn, now I see all the red flags that I ignored in that friendship. I was explaining myself too much. You know, my friend was never going to take me serious. They just wanted to see me fucking explain myself and watch me go crazy trying to explain myself. That's what narcs do. They gaslight and provoke to get you to over-explain yourself. And they're not looking for a resolution. They're not looking for conflict resolution. They're not looking to resolve anything. They just want to see you react negatively to their provoking you, provocation. The over-explaining has got to stop, y'all. I want y'all in 2025 to really fix that about yourselves. Work on that. If you feel like you got to fucking explain yourself, over explain yourself, then it means somebody is fucking with you deliberately. And it means to get the fuck away from that person. Yeah, you're in the presence of a narcissist because they're the ones, they get narc supply. If they're able to provoke you into reacting any type of way or getting you to over explain yourself, even I'm at a point now, I don't explain shit. If I believe something about somebody, if I said something, I'm only saying it one time. I'm not finna sit up here and explain nothing to nobody. I stand on business. Them days of explaining myself and feeling how I feel, if people don't like it, they don't like it. Fuck you, get the fuck on. Who the fuck is you that I gotta sit here and explain myself to you, bitch? You're not God. No, you're not. Your name is not Jesus Christ. I'm not explaining a motherfucking thing to you. Get out my face. I want y'all to start in 2025. Stop explaining yourself. And I want you to start. I tell this to so many of my clients. When you get a gut feeling about anything, anybody, anywhere, and it's driving you crazy, that gut feeling is driving you crazy, something feels off, baby, you better trust and believe that is God telling you to believe your intuition and stand 10 toes down on it. How many times have we ignored that feeling in our guts and it ended up turning out the truth about somebody you felt negative about? But you were the good person that you are. You tried to ignore it. You want to see the good in people, whatever. God be telling us. God will give you a feeling. Your body will tell you. Your body's always keeping score when you're around toxic, narcissistic people. Your body will trigger your nervous system, say, something ain't right with this motherfucker. And we ignore it because we're good people with good hearts. 2025, please stop ignoring your intuition. Listen to your body. If your nervous system, sometimes I start shaking or the hairs on my arms go up. When I see somebody and I get triggered around them, I say, oh no, bitch, I got to get the fuck away from you. Somebody can say hello and I'll get triggered. You know, people ask me, why do I go off on celebrities and stuff? I said, because I watch these celebrities and they all are identical. Male, female, they all are fucking abusers. They're worthless grifters, scammers, liars, pedos. All of them are fucking abusive. And I called them out. I don't give a fuck. But I want 2025 to be the year. Y'all stop explaining yourself and start standing on business, how you feel about something or someone, especially if you get a gut feeling. God, that's God talking to you, honey. That's God telling you something ain't right with this bitch. Promise me, y'all. Get in the comment section. Y'all, please start standing on business. If your gut, your body is telling you something ain't right about a person, I don't give a fuck if it's a blood relative. You better listen to that gut feeling. Stop ignoring it. The days of you ignoring your intuition, that's what the narcissist want. The narcissist knows we are deeply intuitive. We as empaths, a lot of us are neurodivergents. A lot of us, listen, are gifted. We are chosen. The narcissist knows we are spiritually and gifted, and we are intuitive, baby. It's a gift. That's why they envy. They can't tap into their shit the way that we tap into our shit. So they'll do everything in their power to keep us thrown off and distracted from trusting our own intuition, including your mother and father. Why you think your mother and father is so mad that you decided to step away from the family and level up on their asses? Why do you think your family is keeping up with you, cyber stalking you, and watching your elevation? Because the plan was to destroy you. The plan was to keep bullying you. The plan was to keep gossiping about you and keep your self-esteem low. And it backfired. Now they witch hunting, they gang stalking and watching everything you do, watching your level up. Stand 10 toes down. Stop apologizing for shit that ain't your fault. Your mother and father got you apologize. And that's because when you were a child, you had to walk on eggshells around that crazy motherfucker. My mother is one wild, crazy fucking bitch. And when I tell you she had us walking on eggshells, if you sneezed the wrong way, she would scream at you with her eyes bulging out her fucking face. I'm going to tell y'all something else before I wrap this video up. She used to, this is, when we were in high school, me and my brother, she was obsessed with us, like scratching her scalp and picking in her toes. She would have my brother, or we would switch roles. She would have one of us with tweezers picking on her toenails because that made her feel good, had us scratching and picking and cleaning her toenails. And she had the other one of us scratching her scalp, and she would sleep. And we would have to do it till our fingers were numb. She had us sitting there doing it till our fingers were fucking numb. And when she would doze off and fall asleep, we would sneak off. The moment she woke up, she would scream our names. Get back in here. I didn't tell you to fucking stop. Come back in here and finish doing my hair. Finish working on my feet. She would scream. So that's what our household was like, walking on fucking eggshells around my mother, trying to keep her pleased and happy all the goddamn time. And it was just never enough. That type of shit will fuck your nervous system up as a child. Then you grow up with all these health issues, lupus, eczema flare-ups, hair falling out, autoimmune disease, irritable bowel syndrome, fucking fibroids, lymphedema, which I have. I've had 2 surgeries for my lymphedema as so far, and I'm understanding all of it is tied to stress. I've had lymphedema since I was a little girl, big thighs that I got bullied by. My mother bullied me about my big thighs when it was nothing more than stress stored in the body, trauma stored in the body. So I need y'all to understand that this year, I really want y'all to work hard on stop apologizing to people for shit you didn't do. Stop over explaining yourself. Don't even explain yourself at all. I want you to start trusting everything that you feel about yourself, and I want you to stand 10 toes down on it. Okay, it's going to take a lot of practice, a lot of conditioning. And if you're not in therapy, I highly suggest EMDR therapy, eye movement desensitization, reprocessing therapy, which can be done at the comforts of your home. You don't have to physically get up and go into a doctor's office, a therapist's office. You can do it from your laptop at home. Find a therapist from your insurance plan, a good therapist, a psychotherapist, as I have. And if your insurance covers it, which a lot of them do, you can communicate with your therapist once a week through your laptop, and you can do the therapy at home in the comforts of your home, which I prefer. I don't want to be around people. I don't want to go into no doctor's office. I like being in the comforts of my home. Start working on the changes. There's a lot we got to work on ourselves, a lot that we have to deprogram, things that we have to unlearn that our toxic family have taught us. A lot of y'all are walking around thinking you're a narcissist when all it is yet you've picked up toxic behaviors from your family, and you can get rid of those behaviors. Okay, it doesn't make you a narcissist. We all have narc traits that we can get rid of. It's like they call it narcissistic fleas. Your parents and other family members, on the other hand, they have the full-blown disorder. You don't have the full-blown disorder. You may have a couple of traits, maybe on the very low end of the spectrum. Get rid of the traits, scrub it off, get rid of it. But that requires you cutting your family off, isolating, and getting right. So let's start this year. Stop over-explaining yourself and stop apologizing. It's not your fault. It's nothing you did wrong. It's not your fault that you got caught up with an abusive asshole, that you married an asshole. You married a fucking actor. You married a fucking magician, a con artist, a scammer. These people are highly demonic. How does that make you stupid? When you were just trying to be loving, you were being the person that God created you to be. You can't help that you're loving and that you saw the best in that person. Why would you apologize for that? And see, this is where the only time where I would talk about forgiveness is forgive yourself. Fuck forgiving your abuser. Fuck forgiving your mother and father. Forgive yourself. Because you're too hard on yourself. Okay? I hope this video was helpful to someone. You're welcome to leave comments. Yes, I'm available for coaching. I love you guys. Let's start standing on business in 2025, y'all. We win, and the underdog is finally winning. I promise you we are. Have a blessed evening, y'all.